Hey everyone, welcome back. Are you looking to create delicious plant-based meals which not only are budget-friendly, but taste delicious, look amazing, and are good for your health? Well, today I'm excited to start a new series where I'll be aiming to do exactly that. Today we're going to try and keep the cost to under £1 per portion. So if you want to cook along with me, you can. I'll put the quantity of the ingredients on the screen, and also the recipe will be in the description, so grab an apron and let's get cooking.
We're going to start off by cutting the sweet potato into bite-sized chunks, roughly 2 centimeter cubed, and don't worry about removing the skin from the sweet potato as there's lots of good nutrients and fibre in there, and it's just a waste of time really. Just make sure you give the sweet potato a good wash and a scrub under cold water. Next we'll dice 1 white onion and slice a couple of garlic cloves. You could use onion and garlic powder here in replacement to save a little bit of time and also a little bit of money, but it won't be as nutritious as using the raw onion. Then chop some coriander ready to go at the end. You could use some other herbs such as parsley or chives if you don't like coriander. You could also use dried herbs to save a little bit of money as well. Now we're going to start the cooking, so we're going to heat up 1 tablespoon of oil in a heavy base saucepan over a medium-high heat. First to go in is the sweet potato, and I'm going to season it with some salt and pepper. I like to add the sweet potato in first so you can get some good colour and caramelisation on it before adding in the other ingredients, rather than throwing it in at the end and just letting it simmer in the liquid. So we'll just cook it for 5 to 8 minutes until it's got a little bit of colour on it and it's starting to soften on the outside. Turn the heat down to medium and then we'll add an extra tablespoon of oil, the onion and the garlic, and we'll let that caramelise for around 5 minutes. In terms of the oil you choose to use for this dish, I found that sunflower was one of the cheapest. You could use olive oil or rapeseed, which are going to be a bit more nutritious, but are also going to be a bit more expensive. One little tip I have to save money is to use water to deglaze the pan rather than adding extra oil. So whenever you see it starting to catch a little bit too much, just add a little splash of water and that will sort it out. We'll then add the chipotle paste. You can add as little or as much as you like depending on your spice preference. Next we'll add some ground cumin. I love cumin, it's got a lovely earthy flavour. Then a couple of bay leaves. These add a lovely fragrant flavour to the dish. I actually have a bay leaf tree, so these are completely free for me. Next a couple of teaspoons of dried oregano. And finally a good teaspoon of tomato puree. Then simply cook out the spices for a couple of minutes. Although beans and rice seems like something you would eat on a winter's day, by adding a zingy salsa to it, this is definitely a dish you could eat when it's hot outside. Add in your black beans now. I like to do one of the cans not drained as the cooking liquids have lots of starches from the beans and that helps thicken the sauce. I've made some vegetable stock here using vegetable stock powder. This isn't essential but adds just a little bit of extra flavour. We'll now bring it to a simmer and let it cook for around 20 to 25 minutes or until the sweet potato is nice and soft and you've got a lovely thick sauce. Give it a stir every now and again just to make sure there's nothing catching on the bottom, and if it's drying out too much just add a little splash of water and that will sort it out. You could of course cook your own dried beans, which would make it a little bit cheaper, and in my opinion home cooked beans are a lot nicer than canned beans, but it does of course take a little bit of extra time and you would need to use a little bit of electricity to cook the beans, but in terms of the price of dried beans compared to canned beans, it is quite considerable. So we've now got a beautiful creamy black bean and sweet potato stew, and we're going to add a nice squeeze of lime. That's really something you don't want to miss out on. That really brings out the flavours of the dish. Of course, give it a taste and add any more salt and pepper that you think it needs, and we're going to finish it off with the coriander that we chopped earlier. Now that we've cooked the black beans and sweet potato, we're going to move on to the charred, smoky red pepper and sweetcorn salsa, which is really going to bring this dish to life. To start off, we're going to char the red pepper over an open flame, and that's going to give the salsa the beautiful smoky flavour. If you don't have an open flame, you could use a little bit of smoked paprika, or you could get some liquid smoke that could add the smoky flavour that you'd be missing out on. Once the pepper is nicely charred on all sides, we're going to take it off the heat and pop it into a bowl and then just leave it to cool for a few minutes. Then get off as much of the charred bits as you can. There's still going to be the lovely smoky flavour that has penetrated into the flesh of the red pepper. Then simply dice your red pepper into little cubes. Grab yourself a red onion. I'm not really sure why they're called red onions when they're clearly purple, but anyway, we're going to finely chop that for the salsa. I'm going to use frozen sweet corn for the salsa, which I've simply poured boiling water over and drained. You could also use canned sweet corn, which would be a bit cheaper, but personally I don't like the texture or the taste really. Then add some finely chopped coriander, a tablespoon of olive oil. We're going to use the zest of 1 lime and then the juice of half a lime. And of course we'll season the salsa with some salt and pepper. So there we have a smoky, crunchy salsa, which is going to go great on top of our creamy beans and really take it to the next level. I'm serving these Chipotle black beans and sweet potato with a lovely bit of brown rice and then a nice sprinkle of the salsa on top.
Okay, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do give that recipe a go, and also share my channel with any friends you have who might be looking to eat more plant-based food or already plant-based. And yeah, I've got lots more budget-friendly recipes to come, and I'll see you in a video very soon. Bye-bye.